let's say a parent is watching this and they're not very happy after watching this conversation. So what would be your advice or suggestions to them?
As a parent, we all have to have a little bit of humble pie. We are not living vicariously through our children. They are their own human beings and have their own hopes and aspirations and capabilities.
2 simple rules: pay attention and implement. You don't even have to say much, just sit down with them and they'll eventually open up to you themselves.
They want to give us what they have lacked with their parents. I think if you want to give us that, you can live the life we're living with us.
You have said it in a very polite way, but I hope they understand what you're trying to say. How can parents learn about these things?
Through this.
Through this podcast, I will say,
Guys, you need
guys,
to...
please watch this podcast if you want to understand kids.
Talking to their children too.
Yeah.
My parents are gonna get a whole new understanding on me.
I think every parent wants their kids to be successful, as the definition is not the same in every book of success.
I need to credit my mother because she always said to me, do what you love.
What do they do? Because they in the end are like, okay, we are also human, like, I'm trying my best. So what is the role of parents right now?
The role of parents is vital. And I can tell you, when I come home to my 7-year-old son and he knows what I'm doing, he also craves time with his mama. We also have to manage our time. It's easy to just say, I'm tired and I need to relax for a moment. But it's easier said than done, no doubt.
Sania, is it easy as a child to communicate with your mother or with your father?
It depends.
Who do you like the most?
Oh, that's tough. Are you kidding?
Tough.
No.
It's really different.
Your parents are gonna watch this.
So I think let's start. So we don't do formal introductions, anything. We'll just jump right into the conversation. I think we can start with a bit of an introduction, who we are and what we do and why are we here on this table. So maybe we start from you.
Thank you. I'm Pernille Ironside. I'm the head of UNICEF in Pakistan. I arrived 4 months ago. And we're here to talk about children and to celebrate World Children's Day on November 20th.
Awesome.
I'm Mohammed Baryal. I'm 17 and I'm part of the Child Advisory Panel for the National Commission on the Rights of Child, NCRC. And I'm excited to be here to get to talk about my views upon child rights and just what I think about them, basically.
Very interesting. What is the meaning of Baryal? It's quite a unique name. I never heard this before, I think.
Baryal basically originates from the Pashto language, right? The word Baryale,
Okay.
which basically means loyal, brave, bold. So basically you can take Baryal as bravery.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Sania?
So my name is Talha Ahad. I'm basically from KPK Chitral, and I have been part of NCRC for 1 year, and I just like to talk about children, like about me and my friends, and to share my opinions on the issues that we are facing right now, the kids are facing right now. That's why I joined NCRC, and it's great to be here and talk about everything.
Awesome. I think we can start maybe a little bit of our backgrounds. If I start from you, how do you remember your childhood? Like compared to now, talking to the kids, you've gone through the world, like, you have spent years and years in different countries, met with a lot of different people. So now, like, if you zoom out, how do you reflect your own childhood?
It's a great question. So I grew up in Canada as the only child of 2 immigrants to Canada who were both professors, both of my parents who were professors. And so we had a middle class upbringing, but comparatively, if I reflect now, I feel extraordinarily privileged for the opportunities and the upbringing that I had as a child growing up in Canada. And it's shaped, those opportunities have shaped how I was able to fulfill my potential and was exposed to. Everything from my outlook on equality, on the value of education, the appreciation of the healthcare system, to being able to choose my profession and to pursue that freely.
Wow. And what do you miss the most from your childhood times?
Oh, well, I used to ride horses, and which is, of course, a great privilege. And I had them in my life, which has not been possible with having a global career now. Although, to my great delight, I see that Pakistan is also, there is that possibility, should I?
We have a really nice vegetables, I think, around Islamabad.
Yeah.
Yes.
Baryal, if you talk a little bit about your childhood, so let's say your first 7 years of your life, how do you remember your childhood?
Most of it was a blink, but if I had to talk about the greatest moments of my childhood, it would be playing around, not worrying at all, and if I had to compare it to a lot of children I see nowadays, as ma'am said, I was also very privileged, right? Very basic needs ke alawa, I had a lot of support from my family, basic care, attention, everything. I was extremely privileged. Or nowadays when I look around and witness the amount of neglect that children are getting, I really thank God for having such a great family, such a great upbringing. And I just thank him every day for making me capable of sitting here in front of you today.
Sania, what is your best memory of your childhood? You're still a child, but still, like, if you go back to your early childhood, like when you think about your childhood, what is the first thing jo aapke zehn mein aati ho?
So me and my parents moved a lot, like from Chitral, then to Peshawar, then to Islamabad, and we used to change houses every 3 years. So the best part was the packing of all the stuff and then putting new stuff in our own rooms. So that was a great experience that I had, like going to one place to another at such young age. I really like traveling, that's why. And the thing I really like was my dad on a dinner table. When I was a kid, we had a ritual, I guess, to like have everyone on the dinner table and sit together and talk about our day, which is sometimes not possible these days because of studies and all. But it was a great time when I was a kid, and having my parents, both of them, on the table, talking about the day and playing badminton every day on the streets. It was great.
And what is the most difficult thing to be a child?
In Pakistan today?
Like in Pakistan, or generally just as a human, or just as a child? What do you think?
It's really relative to the surroundings into which you're born. It's so dependent on a number of ingredients. It depends, are you born to a mother who herself is a child? Is she aware of how to be nourished? Is she herself healthy and physically ready to bear a child into the world, who themselves will be healthy? All of these ingredients set up a child for developmental success or some impediments. And that trajectory can be determined very early on. It's not fixed in stone. It just means that to overcome such hurdles requires really a number of confluences of things to happen that are positive. You need to have access to healthcare, to be immunized, to be counted in society. In the country at the moment, only about 30% of children's births are registered. That means that they are counted and have access to the public service.
Are you talking about Pakistani number or general?
Yes.
Okay.
I am talking. So just that fundamental right to be counted as part of society, and then which gives you access to a whole host of, ideally, services that are reaching to your particular community or household level. So all of these factors come together in a society where poverty is affecting about 40% of households nationally. Of course, within provinces such as Baluchistan, that's even a much higher proportion of families are facing really dire poverty. Those are ingredients that then affect whether children will go to school. Do they immediately start going into the labor market to earn something to contribute to the family? And it shapes their outlook. Are their parents valuing education and prioritizing that in order for, with the anticipation that that child is going to not only fulfill their potential, but then bring back to the family, to the community, to society. All of those are key ingredients here for success.
Baryal, what do you think, what is the basic need of a child? Like, what are the main ingredients? Obviously, then there's a lot of things you can get, which you should get. But what do you feel like? Because now when you talk to your friends and the younger people as well, like, what is the basic need?
I believe the basic need in every household and to every child is attention. Because love, attention, care, because clothes, food, shelter, that's a basic need. That's the bare minimum. When you take the responsibility of a child, those are its terms and conditions, right? But apart from those, the very basic and major thing that's neglected is love, care, and attention. Because in the end, you're raising a child, you're not raising a robot, right? If the child's mindset is built in a way where he knows he's supported, he's loved, he's cared, he's heard, obviously he'll do great things, he'll be able to achieve great things, and most of all, he'll be happy.
Do you think we are getting these three things in our household these days?
It's about the privileges that a kid get. Like me, if I speak of myself, I'm blessed enough to have a parents who knows about my needs and all the stuff that I'm going to. They encourage my curiosity. They encourage me to look further, to know myself. But to speak about general of Pakistan, if I speak about of my friends or anyone I see on the streets, I think it's hardly possible to give kids love these days, because they are neglected. First of all, their curiosity is suppressed. If they ask a question, they're like, you're a kid, you don't have an experience. You should learn about the world first. But learning about the world comes from curiosity, as I say. If you're curious about a thing, you get to know it. And if a parent encourages you, then it adds up to your experiences. So I think it's a rare ratio of kids who get these love and curiosity and encouragement from the society and parents. But the rest of them, we need to work on it, and the parents need to work on that as well.
And it's time. It's time, right? If you're working to get food on the table and to meet the basic needs of the family, and maybe you have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 children, it can be extremely challenging to find the time to give individual attention, let alone, also the attention, the time in a family to nurture kids. So we're actually challenging this World Children's Day. UNICEF is challenging the public. Have you spent 30 minutes playing with your child in the week? Not even in the day. Okay. In the week, have you spent 30 minutes just playing with your child? And to share that, so that that is also valued as time well spent within society. That there's, that's recognized, that you're investing time in your child.
But as a parent, like as an example, if we ask this same question to a parent, obviously depending on the privilege, where they live, the resources, generally I think there is a bigger question which people are talking about, like work-life balance, whether you're an employee or a businessman, or if you are earning bare minimum. they normally say, or the old school parents say, because we are working really, really hard to make your ends meet, like we are doing all of this for you. It's not like we are having a party all day and like not like spending time with you. But then obviously when we come home, like we are really tired, or like then there are like house issues and you need to do a lot of things. So then as a parent, like what do you do? Like, because a lot of time you are considerate, and one is you are not considerate. But like, let's say if you are even considerate, like in this digital world, like a very fast paced, very corporate, like very capitalistic world, so then how do parents sort of like, what's their like, what do they do? Because they in the end are like, okay, we are also human, like, you know, I'm trying my best, but like, you know, and now the kids are also so self-aware. Like maybe in our age we didn't even realize that the parents are not giving us the love or the attention. Or so what is the role of parents right now then?
The role of parents is vital, and I can tell you, when I come home to my 7-year-old son, and he knows what I am doing, he also craves time with his mama, and he looks forward to that more than anything else. And it's, you know, as the adult and the parent, we also have to manage our time. It's easy to just say, I'm tired and I need to relax for a moment. But creating that regular space with your child, however, in whatever small dose that is really meaningful and can shape their it shapes their perspective on parenting as well. These are probably future parents, you know, so we are also being examples for them, let alone shaping their experience about childhood. So having time to play, having time to discuss, in some, you know, sometimes we talk about what are the kinds of issues that I'm working on, and he finds that also interesting and has actually, you know, some good ideas, creative ideas on it. So it's involving children as human beings, and not kind of keeping them at distance. That's my belief. But it's easier said than done, no doubt.
But yeah, like because of the digital age, because of the Instagram, because there's a lot of knowledge right now, like generally the kids are very self-aware. Like they have a lot of information about their needs, about the world, what's happening in the world. Then how do, like, what is your expectation from parents knowing a lot of things? Because a lot of times parent might don't know a lot of these things because they're like from old school. They don't know what a kid want, or like, because as an example, they were growing up in 70s, 80s, or let's say early 90s. So what do you expect from a parent? How do they know what you want?
Communication. I believe in today's generation, there is a very big communication gap in between parents and children. And the main reason, again, is because the child grows up not knowing how to communicate with their parents, right? I know a lot of friends who can't communicate with their father because they never really grew up knowing them. Because as a person, as a father, you know, they were obviously there for them, but in the end, they couldn't really feel their love the same way, you know, because communication gap. If the children can find, it's not always the parents' fault, you know, the parents are obviously busy, stressed, tensed, but if the children can find a way to communicate better with their parents, even if so for 5 minutes, you know, those 5 minutes can mean everything in between the parents knowing what their children want, need. The child can say, Dad, I need like 5 minutes of your time. And 5 minutes nowadays is very easy.
Yeah. And even I think it's like vice versa as well. Like asking your kid, I am trying my best, but maybe you don't feel like, you know, you're being loved or cared. Like, what do you want me to do? So that's sort of, but like for that, you need to put your ego aside a little bit, that I am like someone, I know everything.
Yeah, you also need to observe a lot, you know, because there are visible signs that your child does not feel that way with you, you know. The child can go silent all of a sudden not talk to their parents or be agitated when their parents talk to them, even in normal everyday conversations, and communication should be highly worked upon by the children and the parents.
That's a very interesting point. Sania, is it easy as a child to communicate with your mother or with your father? Or it depends?
It depends.
Okay.
Like, I'm close to my father. I tell everything to my mother as well. But there are certain points, there are certain topics that we share with my mother and I don't share with my father. But when I'm talking about my whole day, I did this, and then I'm talking with my mother, because she has that household and that world experience, which gives me a positive message that even if I did this, it is wrong, but she's telling me what to do right. And as compared with my father, he's more of a practical kind of a person. So I'll say it's not easy to talk to any of them. But if we put aside our opinions, my parents has their own opinion, I have my own opinion, but we come together, we share our opinions, and we come to a point that we agree on. So I think it's different for every child, but for me, it's my dad. I tell everything to my dad.
Who do you like the most?
Oh, that's tough.
That's tough.
No.
It's really different.
Your parents are gonna watch this.
I need
They-
to know.
I'm not gonna answer that. I might have to sit at the dining table at night and tell them, give all a question. What should I do? But it's different for both my parents.
Pernille, you've spent like a lot of time in a lot of different countries with different environments, different ethnic sort of backgrounds. Do you feel like the need of a child everywhere is the same, or is it also like sort of depend on the region? Not really like a country, but like region to region. Do you feel like, because I've spent like almost 6 to 7 years in UK when I was studying there. So I feel like the child over there, it's a bit different because you get independent very early, like generally in the Western world. But over here, like till sometimes 25, sometimes 30, like you're still living with your parents. So your needs are very different. So what is your experience as a global citizen?
Well, so fundamentally, children have the same needs, the basic needs everywhere. We said a moment ago, they need love, they need the attention of their parents, they need their basic needs of health and education, play, access to clean water, all these basic needs. But every context is unique. But not only the country, it's every household is unique as well. So it's an individual journey, but the rights of the child remain constant, and their level of fulfillment and where the starting point is varies. So even in my own country, it's not by any means perfect. In Canada, where every child there's many communities that are left behind, where there's exclusion still, or a much more difficult kind of pathway to fulfilling a child's potential.
So we've talked about the role of education. Like, what's not happening in the educational landscape, like from your school to the college, and now you're in uni right now?
I'm not in uni, actually. I'm in college.
Okay.
But in high school and college years in Pakistan, the talent of a student and the hard work of a student really gets neglected. If we were to pull up some analytics, right, the most basic one would be in college, last year, the amount of students that passed last year, the exact same amount of students passed this year, right? And so we have this thing called improvements, where you can improve your grades, or if you fail in the first annual exams, you can give your improvements and improve in that. And in both years, the same amount of students again passed in those two. So it really makes you wonder where our education is heading, right? Because education is key in building character, mindset, personality. If your education system cannot fulfill your needs, cannot fulfill a child's capabilities and stuff, a child will never be able to achieve his entire potential. He'll be lacking in everything, and it can lead to other things as well, like depression, anxiety, stress. Academic pressure is a major issue in Pakistan. A lot of students unfortunately commit suicide too, due to the same exams that I'm talking about, because let alone academic pressure in Pakistan, you are defined by your grades.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Sania, like, so there are two education systems. One is like अगर आप गाँव वाली side पे देखो या जो बहुत ही unprivileged लोग हैं, and then there is Islamabad, Lahore, Karachi, big colleges, big schools. What are some of the issues which you feel like at least यहाँ वो नहीं होने चाहिए थे, or like they're still there? Because from the outside perspective, a lot of times feel like, okay, in the village, because they don't have a basic education, that's why they're not getting this. Yeah. But like even in the cities, like where there's a lot of like, fee, it's like the top of the top schools, but still like there are a lot of issues. So generally, like what are some of the things which you feel like जो बहुत ज़्यादा problems हैं इन जगहों पे भी?
First of all, as Baryal said, we are defined by our grades. So, and not every kid is good at every subject.
Yeah.
So in our schools, if I may say, there are kids, if a kid is not good in one subject, you're defined by that subject. You're not defined by a kid who's good in maths, a kid who's bad in science, but you're defined by only a kid who's bad in studies.
But is it defined by the parents or the society or the school?
I think it's the sum up of everything. Your teachers, they kill your curiosity for one subject to gain marks in another subject. It's your parents, they have a generational gap. I understand it. We all do understand it. We are not the Gen Z kids who don't understand things and they think of us as unexperienced. But we understand the generational gap, and we understand that our parents had different parents than they are for us. But it sums up to the parent, to the teachers, as well as the students, their friends. They come up with names, they come up with techniques to tell us that you're not good at this subject. I think you should probably leave A-levels.
Yeah.
You should probably leave doing pre-medical. You're not good at pre-medical, go to pre-engineering or something. So I think these are the main issues in Pakistan, in Islamabad as well, actually, that you're defined by your grades and it kills your curiosity. Even right now in my school, I'm a very privileged student attending a very big school. But even in clubs, we have clubs in our schools for science, for physics, for biology. But even in those clubs, if you're an average student, you're not valued there. Even if you're a creative person, not a theoretical person, it is not valued, I think. Every kid is different from one. So this is the main issue in Islamabad as well.
But where is this mindset coming from? Because, and we are talking about like big cities, we're not talking about like the small towns or villages where people don't know these things, like they haven't gone to the universities. These are like mainstream sort of, and they are like well-educated parents and teachers and everyone. So where is this then mindset? Is there some sort of, are they afraid of something? Like as a parent, you're afraid, like if the grades are not there, maybe my kid cannot survive in the world. Like what is this like mindset from a parent's perspective?
I suspect every parent, I'm a parent, we all want our children to succeed. But it's understanding that success, I mean, what is the definition of success, right? Is that in terms of income potential? Is that in terms of job satisfaction? And that is defined very differently in each family. But it's often driven by certain fixed mindsets around professions like the medical profession, or possibly being a doctor, a lawyer, or some of these fixed pathways. But in today's world, parents need to have a much broader perspective on what are the potential pathways for their children to pursue in life, and be more open-minded. And that, isn't it an amazing thing if your child is actually pursuing something that they are passionate about. They love it. It feeds their soul. And no doubt, maybe they're not going to be the richest person, but they will find a way to manage in the world as a result and be much happier. So having more flexibility in terms of understanding the modern kind of outlay or options for one's career, including entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Then there's a whole new green economy that's going to be developing. We don't even know all of the types of jobs that are emerging. Unlike when I was kind of choosing a pathway, and you generally pursue that and then you retire. Nowadays, it's quite normal for children or young people to change their jobs over time. They don't stay with the same organization or company, or maybe not even in the same field. And that's okay as well. So there needs to be some flexibility and mental flexibility and be very supportive, in my opinion, of what kids want to do.
No, I remember when I moved back to Pakistan, so some of the people in my family said, like, we have sent you London to study this and that, and you moved back and you are making videos on Facebook. like what is this? So this new economy, creator economy and whatever you call it, it's just and now I was reading somewhere, like the CEO of OpenAI is Sam Altman. He mentioned that the new billionaires are going to be the solopreneurs. Yeah. So there's only one person running a company, because all of the tools which you can use to, but if you tell this to a parent, they're like, why are you not going at 9 a.m. and coming back at 4 or 5?
Well, they were raised in a different environment. Yeah. Like if I were to talk about my own father and add to what she said, I have two older sisters who went through the same education system, right? They experienced the same stuff. And my eldest sister had the worst of it from the family, because obviously it was her first time, right? But we can't really blame our parents either, because after my sisters went through that education system, right now my father understands how the system works, right? That the child cannot achieve his potential if he does not love what he does, right? Even when it comes to studying. If he does not love studying, if he does not love learning new things, he won't be able to achieve his entire potential. And you can't really blame your parents for caring that much at that level, or scolding either, because in the end it's their first time being parents too, and they want what's best for you.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
What do how can parents learn about these things?
Through this
Through this podcast, we will say,
guys,
please watch this podcast if you want to understand kids.
Talking to their children too.
Yeah.
My parents are gonna get a whole new understanding on me.
I think our parents don't want to see us poor or miserable in the future.
Yeah.
I think every parent wants their kids to be successful, as the definition is the same in every book of success. But for kids, like for us, success is knowing what we like and doing that. But for our parents, success is earning a staple amount of money and living your life best and retiring at a certain age.
Yeah.
But for kids nowadays, it's not the same. So I think as soon as a kid learn a new thing, like I've learned about this podcast, maybe I'll be a director one day.
Yeah.
So as soon as I learn about this, I'll talk to my parents like, oh, I saw a director today. It was so cool sitting around cameras. So as soon as I've learned this, I'll tell it to my parents. They'll search about it. They'll know and it is feeded to them as well, that having a staple money at the end of the month is good for a kid, is good for a future. So I think they will come out of that perspective. And as we learn new things, they will learn new things as well.
Yeah.
I need to credit my mother, because she always has said to me, do what you love. And when I first went to business school and then I went to law school, my parents had in their mind, okay, so this is where my daughter is going into this corporate sphere, and I've taken that into a very different direction.
Exactly.
Into social justice, into human rights, and it was their encouragement and support and instilling confidence in me that they supported me in my choices, was really enabled me to go into very different environments and find my footing. So it can be extremely pivotal, actually, to have that family support and to know that in a way you can fly.
Yeah.
I think there is a poem of Khalil Gibran, The Children of God or something.
Yes, I
That's
think
like, I don't remember the whole thing, but that's just like one of the most, like you get so emotional, I think. And the crux of that is like, they don't belong to you. So you raise them, like, you nourish them, and then like they're like angels. So we'll just like,
Exactly.
go out.
They want to fly out from your protected area, but parents are still connected to the kids. So
Yeah. So we have talked about, like, we know the issues, we know what's needed to be done. Now the question is like, what can a child do right now in their own capacity for themselves, for their peers, for the children who are coming? What do you think? What kind, like, obviously they don't have the power, they don't have a lot of authority right now, but still, what do you think they can do to make Pakistan or like generally the society better?
Learn, just gain knowledge, seek knowledge, and knowledge can be sought from many different sources, from other people, from the internet, from school, from your parents, from your grandparents and extended family, community members. Pursue knowledge. I am a firm believer that the trajectory of Pakistan's development potential will be shaped through the education level of children and creating a pathway from learning to earning. Whatever that earning is, it can take many forms, and it needs to also be in keeping with the direction of the kind of new economies that are emerging. But the power of education enables children and young people and ultimately adults to make better choices for themselves and for the country. That's the knowledge. Don't give up on pursuing knowledge, even if the system is failing you. Seek it from other sources and demand. I have a right to education. So as a fundamental starting point, and to communicate your needs and to communicate with the trusted people and adults in your life, whatever role they have.
And what do you mean by knowledge? Like, what kind of knowledge?
All forms. Learn. The starting point is literacy and numeracy first, and to learn to have those basic fundamental skills. But then to learn about society, learn about the world, nurture your understanding of the country, of what is happening around you. So not knowledge in the form of memorization. That's not what I'm talking about. Critical thinking skills, asking questions, and listening and respecting other people's opinions so that you're exposed to diverse perspectives. Those are the building blocks.
What are some of the things you think a kid of the new generation need, one, to survive in this new world because of the social media, because there's so much knowledge and information, and again, to make the society better?
In the end, as you said, they're just children, right? They don't have a lot of authority. But what they can do is normalize this movement of wanting to learn more, wanting to achieve great things, wanting to talk about basic rights, necessities, because nowadays it is like kind of seen as uncool apparently to talk about this stuff, but children and youngsters should take part in as many of these types of things as possible, because through this they will normalize it and more children will want to take part in it, and the more children that take part, the better our future is going to set up. Yeah.
Great point.
Learning, there's so many things on the internet. In the morning, a kid wants to do drawing. In the evening, he wants to learn about cryptocurrency. So there is chunks of knowledge. There is a bundle of knowledge that is on the internet. There is surrounding them. So I'll say just you don't have to be good at everything. There's a saying, the jack of all trades, I guess.
Yeah.
But you don't have to be good at one thing. I'll say I can't talk about one topic that you should be good in to survive in this world and the coming futures. So you have to, as she said, you have to learn it from your grandparents, their experiences. You have to learn how to handle money management from the internet. You have to learn how to run a household from your mother. So there are bits of things you need to learn, but you don't have to be, and you don't need to be good at one thing to survive in the future, because the world is not going to remain same as it is today.
Yeah.
So it's going to be different.
Yeah, learning a lot about a lot of things is a great thing. And as she said, the quote goes, jack of all trades, a master of none. And that's where people stop, but it's actually a continuation. The complete one is jack of all trades, master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one. And that's where you get to shine, you know, learning more things. Who says you can't learn about cars and law at the same time? Who says you can't learn about engineering and medical at the same time?
As she said, she was a lawyer, and she came into social work. So you don't need to be good at one thing. And these education system, it's developing in Pakistan as well. There are interdisciplinary subjects. You can mix up subjects, you can study. So you don't have to be good at one thing, and there's no need to be.
Or limit yourself.
Limit yourself.
Don't put limits.
Spend your
on this.
curiosity and feed yourself.
Also, I mean, like one other thing which is I think very, very important is like when you learn about different things, a lot of times, like when you're in your 20s or late 20s, 80% of the people really don't know what do they want to do with their life.
Yeah.
Because you've studied engineering, but you're doing some creative job, but you're like, no, but like, you know, like I'm not getting a vibe, I'm not getting a feel. So as like if you try or test a lot of different things, then like eventually like that curiosity will take you to the place which is you're supposed to be. So I think that's also extremely important, because there are I think very few people like who really know what do they want to do. As an example, like in my I think university circle or my friends in Pakistan, when I was going to study, I think I'm the only one I know at least. So I studied journalism and film, and now I am in sort of the same field. I mean, it evolved. Like I started making videos on Facebook, but still, like, field, you know, eventually, a lot of times, like you do engineering or doctor or like whatever, and then like you're doing something else, and then you're still not really 100% sure what do you want to do. So I think when you experiment and learn about a lot of different things, so eventually that thing I think will take you to the place where you belong to.
And I think in our society it's seen as a bad thing that you're exploring things for a kid. Nowadays, if we take a gap year to know ourselves, if saying I want to take a gap year to know myself, where I'm suited, they're like, you know, you're wasting a year worth of your time. So I think it's taken as a bad thing in our society, but to the kids, it's okay if you take your time. It's okay to experience different things, because you will be at your right place one day. So you learn new
in other
things.
societies, it's actually accepted and expected to take a gap year. And to-
Especially after, I think in my uni, after second year, like at least 80% of the students were taking a gap year, and then they were doing their last year. So what is your sort of message? So let's say if a parent is watching this and they're not very happy after watching this conversation, but they'll be like, okay, we need to work on ourselves now. So, what would be your advice or suggestions to them? Like very practical, let's say 3 things which they can start with.
Very practical. Well, as a parent, we all have to have a little bit of humble pie, and we are not living vicariously through our children. They are their own human beings and have their own hopes and aspirations and capabilities. And I would challenge parents that it's our job to nurture that human being with their unique aspirations, capabilities, dreams, hopes, passions, and allow that to come out and flourish. Of course, our role is to ensure that all of their basic needs are being met. But one of those basic needs is instilling them with a sense of self and that confidence, and knowing that that they can pursue their potential, and you are there to support and accompany them on their own journey, rather than, of course, provide them guidance, but also allow them to find their path on their own. So it's recognizing your child as their own human being, being there supportive, not imposing, and yes, at the same time, aiming high and prioritizing their education above anything else. That is the singular most important investment, in addition to spending time with your child.
Nice. What's your advice to a parent? It's not for your parents, but for someone else.
Basically, just follow 2 simple rules: pay attention and implement. Right? Pay attention to your child's mood, to your child's needs, and necessities. If your child is acting weird, it's probably because he's stressed or anxious. If he's gone silent, he probably just likes staying silent and thinking in his own thoughts, like, what am I going to do now, right? And if you find your child in that scenario, just sit down with them. You don't even have to say much. Just sit down with them for 5 to 10 minutes, and they eventually open up to you themselves. And when they eventually do, instead of fearing, instead of getting scared, because a lot of parents often, out of fear, start controlling their child's life, Instead of fearing the future and being scared for them, start paying attention to how they'll be happy and how they'll be, maybe they'll be earning less, but they'll be happier in life, And slowly and surely, through your own pace, start implementing those minute, tiny changes that eventually build up your child's life. Yeah.
Sania, your advice to a parent?
My advice to a parent, I guess everything we said in this podcast was an advice to every parent, like to communicate with your kid, to spend time with that kid. But I think what parents lack is they want to give us what they have lacked with their parents. So I think if you want to give us that, you can live the life we're living with us. You can come to a podcast like me with your kids. You can enjoy the time they're spending with what you like as well, what the kid like as well. You can live the life through our eyes, through our perspective, through our opinions, to see how we see the world, to have a better idea of who your kid is. Like at the age of 18, if you don't know your kid, then I think that parenting has lacked some that had some, I won't say issues, because a parent is never a problem to a kid, but there's some lack of responsibilities that have been in that parenting. I think you can live the life through your kids' eyes and the perspective. So that is my message.
You have said it in a very polite way, but I hope they understand what you are trying to say. So just lastly, Pernille, if you can talk to me a little bit about your work or UNICEF's work in Pakistan around child rights, education. What are you guys trying to do here?
UNICEF's role in Pakistan is to support and allow all children to flourish, and doing so primarily in partnership with the government. We are not an NGO or a charity or an organization. We're the United Nations entity that is charged with children. And we were born out of being an emergency fund a long time ago. But our mandate here is very simple. It's enabling every child to fulfill their rights. And those rights are codified in the Convention on the Rights of the Child, which Pakistan is a proud signatory to. But making sure that those rights are fulfilled in a way that is meaningful and sustainable. So it's not replacing what government does, but rather enabling communities and government to come together in fulfillment of children's potential. There's a lot of practicalities in that. It's supporting government in ensuring routine immunization reaches every child, that every child has a birth certificate, that school-aged children are getting not only enrolled in school, but that they are getting a quality education, that children in communities have access to clean drinking water and sanitation. So it's multiple sectors that we are there backstopping, advising, helping, but our singular focus is uplifting children's outcomes in Pakistan.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much for taking the time out. I think it's a very important conversation. And I think it's just so good to see how you guys are so self-aware. Because at our time and age, I think we were just like playing cricket and football all day and just like coming home and sleeping and like just doing it repeatedly,
Just living life.
Just living
They're
life.
the future.
Yeah.
Future leaders right here at the table.
Yeah. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Lovely talking to you all.
Yes,
Thank
very
you.
inspiring.
It was really great to meet you too.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
Look
you.
forward to what you two are going to do next.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we'll be in the TV a few years later, and you're like, we did a podcast with these kids.
Yeah,
So-
I'm gonna give a shout out to ma'am and you.
Yeah.
They inspired me to become a podcast director.
No, thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.